Hello everybody, my name's Dan Mann and I'm here today with the Dominator Pro. So Dominator Pro came along when guys who were riding the Dominator 2 and the old Dominator wanted something more high performance. This board's more high performance, more pulled in, outline, skatier, a little less forgiving than the Dominator and more on the performance side, but not quite a pure performance like an FRK. So my background as a shaper really started as a surfer. Around the early 90s, when I was like young 20s, I decided that all surfers that were hardcore surfers should at some point make a surfboard. So that's what I did. Started making some boards. My friend Stu let me use his shaping room. Yeah, my interest in surfing was so intense that I wanted to know everything about surfboards and the ocean. There was no better idea for me to dive into more fully than the actual surfboard itself, because that was gonna be what got me in the water. Then around 2017 or so, I got really lucky and got to start working with Kelly a lot. Made him the FRK, he really liked it. That evolved into the FRK, really forced my shaping from general good surfing, good surfboards for good waves, into a really refined, high detail, high orientation with focus on pure performance. As far as design details of the Dominator Pro is, you'll see a lot of similarities in the overall shape with this little subtle hip, nice roundy-ish squash. It's just more pulled in. The other really important factor is the rocker is all the way throughout the whole board. It's more rocker than the Dominator 2. Dominator 2 has some more subtle curve right through here and out the nose. This is a little bit more, I just took it and just increased the rocker both on the nose and the tail. The other significant design features are the concave. The front foot has a nice single concave. It's slightly deeper than the Dominator 2. And then that single it splits into a double right through the fins. And the single concave starts to ease, so it gets a little more flat from rail to rail here. And that splits into a V right off the tip of the tail right there. V with a little slight double barrel. Another really cool thing about the Dominator Pro is that this is the board. This is the first time Firewire and I have done a pure performance board, shortboard, that someone like hopefully David would ride or a pro would pick up in a heat, that's made out of our Helium construction. Okay, so Helium is Firewire's best-selling technology. It is a 1-pound core, balsa and polonio rails, 3mm skins on the top and the bottom, with a 1-pound EPS core in the middle to keep it nice and light and springy. The type of person that is gonna ride this board and has been riding this board are really good surfers who wanna up their game, and who want a little bit forgiveness. It's a little bit more, little fuller nose, a little more outline up there, so that if you're coming away from a pure performance board, you get a little bit more of a window in terms of smaller waves, but it'll also hold real well in good big waves. If you're coming from being primarily a gravel board guy, Dominator 2 or even a potato kind of world, you can get up into this and you start taking your surfing to a higher performance, more in the pocket, more control over speed regulation. That's this board. So in terms of performance, this board sits pretty firmly, cleanly right in between the FRK series, the FRK Roundtail or Squash and Swallow, and it sits right between that and the Dominator 2. This is probably right in the middle. It's kind of a little bit more in the world of the S-Boss with a pointy nose. So most of my feedback so far has been coming from Kevin Schultz and Brody. They've been saying they really like it in small beach breaky, punchy little waves. They will go immediately to the FRKs in big surf, but when they're surfing head high, punchy beach breaks, pockety waves where they want to fit really tight in the pocket, they've been feeling that this has been performing really well for them.
Yeah, this is a board that I've really gotten acquainted with, to be quite honest, really in the last month. And I think the first thing I kind of noticed was just the simplicity of paddling. I mean, right away when you jump on a board, you're kind of feeling around for like, oh, does this board paddle well? Does it move around through the water good? Can I put the board where I want to in the wave? And that was like my first, feeling on this board was it goes wherever you want. As Dan was mentioning, it does have a little more of a high performance aspect than the Dominator 2.0. I really noticed the board kind of wake up and be amazing in that, head high, little overhead kind of beach break range, and it was just lighting up. I think Dan said it best, like if you're looking to get off of that groveler and graduate up to a little bit more of a high performance board, this is the board that's going to help that transition, because you can ride it in small surf, but you can also rely on this board when it's a little bit overhead as well. Accessories, we've got the Firewire 3-piece arch pad. This tail pad fits perfectly on that surfboard. As you can see, it does not overhang. It's meant for this surfboard. It's my go-to on that one every single time. In terms of fins, so as you can see, I've got the Velox air cores in here. I have not tried this board as a quad yet, so I still have more experimentation to do, and I'll report back to you guys when I figure that out. For me, it woke up when I tried it in that punchy beach break.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, there it is.
Super under your feet.
Very under the feet, very much felt like glue, in that it wasn't like jumping around because there was too much foam or sitting on top and planing out too much. It was that perfect amount of sink and being able to bury the rail on this board.
Yeah.
And I think that really just goes back to the more pulled in tail, the more pulled in rail lines in the nose, being a little more catered to that like high performance shape.
Yep.
It's really awesome to work with Dan, because he'll come to me with an idea of a shape, and then I usually give him my 2 cents on something. And for me, I love riding like an experimental design to see what works, and then being able to feel what works and what doesn't. And then him and I think, have a great relationship of being like, hey, what did you feel in this board? Did I feel the same thing? Was it a bad thing? Was it a good thing? And I feel super like confident going to you and telling you something that might be uncomfortable sometimes. And being like,
that's so important.
I feel bad telling you that like something doesn't work sometimes, but that's the beauty of developing shapes, and like then we fix them and we end up with these rad boards, designs. Yeah. And then you guys get to ride them, and I'm still trying out stuff, and Dan's shaping his own boards, and he gets them off a factory line too. And it's like, it's just a really cool working relationship that Dan and I have been able to build over the last few years, and just essentially make awesome surfboards. All right, guys, so that's the Dominator Pro, designed and shaped by Dan Mann, this guy right next to me. Go check it out at your local surf shop or
Firewiresurfboards.com.